The Classic of Mountains and Seas Ancient Book. Produced by Liang Gu. Classic of Mountains and Seas, Nanshan. The first part of Nanshan Classic is called Zhushan. Its peak, known as Zhaoyao Mountain, overlooks the West Sea and is rich in osmanthus, gold and jade. There is a kind of grass there, like a leek, with blue flowers. It's called zhuyu. Eating it can prevent hunger. There was a tree there, like grain, with black veins and shining flowers. It's called migu. Wearing it prevents confusion. There is a beast there, like a monkey, with white ears. It is lurking and waiting for people to run. It is called sang-sang, and you can run fast if you eat it. The water of Lijiang flows from there and flows westward into the sea, which is rich in nourishing power. Wearing it can prevent diseases. 300 miles east, there is a mountain called Tangting. There are many persimmon trees, many white monkeys, abundant jade and a lot of gold. 380 miles to the east, there is a mountain called Monkey Wing Mountain, where there are many strange beasts and many strange fish in the water. There is a lot of white jade there. Many venomous snakes, many strange snakes, and many strange trees made climbing impossible. 370 miles east, there is a mountain called Luyang Mountain. There is a lot of red gold on the sunny side and a lot of white gold on the shady side. There is a beast there. Like a horse but with a white head, patterns on the body like a tiger, a red tail, and a voice like a song. It is called a deer mouse and is suitable for future generations to wear. A strange water flows out from there and flows eastward into Xianyi water. There are many black turtles in the water. It's like a turtle but with a bird's head and a snake's tail. It's called a black turtle, and its sound is like the sound of splitting wood. Wearing it will not cause deafness and can be used as a foundation. 300 miles east there is a place called Dishan, where there is lots of water but no vegetation. There are fish there. Like a cow, with a body like a hill, a tail like a snake, and wings. Their feathers are shining in the sun, and their sound is like a long cow cry. They are called Hu. They die in winter and are born in summer. Eating them will not cause swelling or illness. 400 miles east. There is a mountain called Danyuan, where there is too much water and no vegetation, making it impossible to climb. There is a beast there, resembling a civet but with fur, called Thunder, which is able to reproduce itself and is not jealous of the creatures that eat them. 300 miles east. There is a mountain called Jishan. There are many jade stones on its sunny side, and many strange trees on its shady side. There is a beast there, like a sheep, but with 9 tails, 4 ears, and eyes on its back. It is called a pangolin and is not afraid of being worn. There is also a kind of bird there, which looks like a chicken but has 3 heads, 6 eyes, 6 legs and 3 wings. It is called shangniao, or blessed bird. If you eat it, you will be unable to sleep. 300 miles east, there is a mountain called Qingqiu. There are many jade stones on its sunny side. There are many green plants on the shady side. There is a beast there, like a fox, but with 9 tails and a voice like a baby. It can eat people, but the people it eats are not cursed. There is a bird there, like a dove, with a sound like a sigh. It is called guan guan. Wearing it brings clarity. Ingha River originates here and flows southward into Jiu Marsh. There are many red fish in it, which look like fish but have human faces and sound like mandarin ducks. Eating them will not cause skin diseases. 350 miles east. There is a mountain called Jiwei. The tail of the mountain extends to the East China Sea, where there are many sand and stones. The Wujiang River flows out from there and goes southward into Yuyu, where there is a lot of white jade. On Fanshan Mountain, there are 10 mountains from Zhaoyao Mountain to Jiwei Mountain, spanning 2,950 miles. Their divine shapes are all bird bodies and dragon heads. Their shrine rituals, jade tablets are used as offerings. Offerings are made of glutinous rice, and walls are made of rice and white cattail mats. The peak of the second mountain in the south is called Guishan. It faces the flowing Yellow River to the west, Zhuzhou to the north, and Changyu to the east. Ingha River originates here and flows into Hongshui to the southwest. There are many white jade and red valleys there. There was a pig-like beast there, with claws and a sound like a dog barking. Its name was Li Li, and when I saw it, there are many mounds in the county. There is also a bird that looks like an owl, but has human hands and a sound like a cough. It is called Yu and calls itself. When I saw it, there were many free scholars in the county. 450 miles southeast, there is a mountain called Long Yuan. There are no grass or trees there, but water is plentiful. There is a beast there, like a monkey but with 4 ears, called the ape. Its sound is like a chant, and once it is seen, it will bring great floods to the county. 340 miles east, there is a mountain called Yaoguang. The sunny side has a lot of jade, and the dark side has a lot of gold. There is a beast there, which looks like a man but has bristles, lives in caves and hibernates in winter. Its name is Hua Xian, and its sound is like the sound of wood being split. If seen, it will cause catastrophe. 350 miles east, there is Yushan. There is a lot of water at the bottom of the mountain. It rains a lot above. There is no vegetation, and there are many poisonous snakes. 370 miles east, there is a mountain called Xiufu Mountain. There is no vegetation there. Rich in gold and jade. 400 miles east, there is a mountain called Guafan. There is no vegetation on the mountain and it is rich in gold and jade. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Fuyu. Looking to the north is the giant canal, and to the east is Zhu. There is a beast there. It looks like a tiger, but has a cow's tail and sounds like a dog barking. It is called Ji, and it eats people. A river flows from its shadow, flowing north to the Great Channel, where catfish abound. 500 miles east, there is a place called Qingshan, surrounded by 3 altars. The upper part is rich in gold and jade, and the lower part is rich in green earth. The water flows out from there and flows southward into Hushao, where there is a lot of gold. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Kuaiji. It is rich in gold and jade in all directions, and there are many stones under the mountain. A stream flows from there and flows southward into the river. 500 miles east, there is a place called Ishan. There is no vegetation there and is full of sand and rocks. Spring water gushes out from there and flows southward into the Lietu River. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Pugo. The top of the mountain is rich in gold and jade, and the grass and trees below are lush, but there are no birds, animals, or water. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Xianin, where there is no vegetation and no water. 400 miles east, there is a mountain called Sun. It has a lot of gold on its yang side and a lot of emerald on its yin side. There is a beast there, like a sheep but without a mouth, and cannot be killed. Its name is Ji. The Sun River flows out from there and goes south into Yen Marsh, where there are many purple loaches. 400 miles east, there is a mountain called Hushao. There are abundant plane trees there, and there are many jujube shrubs at the foot of the mountain. The Pang River originates here and flows eastward into the sea. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Siwu, where there are no grass or trees. Mainly sand and stone. The Deer River rises there and flows southward into the Pang River. 500 miles to the east is Mount Luwu, which is devoid of vegetation and rich in gold and stone. The waters of Zijin flowed out from there and entered the Pang River to the south. There are beasts in the water called ancient eagles, which look like eagles but have horns and sound like babies. They are man-eaters. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Kiwuzi. There is no vegetation on the mountain, many big rocks, and no jade. It is located next to the East China Sea. Facing the Chiu Mountain, the light and shadow appear and disappear, as if they are the next ray of the sun. The first secondary mountain range in the south, from Guishan to Chiwu Mountain, there are 17 mountains in total, stretching for 7,200 miles. Their divine shapes are all dragon bodies and bird heads. Their temples. Hair is buried in one wall and offerings are made of rice. The highest peak in the southern Xizhong Mountains is called Tianyu Mountain. There are abundant water sources at the foot of the mountain but difficult to reach. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Daogua, rich in gold and jade. There are many rhinos and elephants at the foot of the mountain. There is a bird there, like a phoenix, with a white head, 3 legs, and a human face, called Kuru. It announces its name with a cry. The river Yi flows from there and flows southward into the sea. There are tigers and dragons in the river, their bodies are like fish. The tail is like a snake and the sound is like a mandarin duck. People who eat them will not suffer from swelling and can also relieve hemorrhoids. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Danshua, which is rich in gold and jade. The Dan River flows out of the mountains and flows south into the Bohai Sea. There is a bird there. It looks like a chicken and is colorful, so it is called phoenix. Its head is marked with D, its wings are marked with E, its back is marked with L, its chest is marked with a benevolence, and its belly is marked with faith. This kind of bird naturally looks for food and water, sings and dances on its own. Once it appears, the world will be peaceful. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Foshuang. There is no vegetation on the mountain, there is abundant water, and there are many white monkeys. The water flows out of the mountains and flows southward into the Bohai Sea. 400 miles east, at the end of Maoshan, there is a valley to the south called Yui. Many exotic birds live there, and a gentle breeze blows from there. 400 miles to the east, you can reach Feifeng Peak, which is rich in gold and jade, but there is no water there and there are many poisonous snakes under the mountain. 500 miles east. There is a mountain called Yangjiashan, where there is no vegetation and abundant water. 500 miles east, there is a mountain called Guanxiang. There are many trees on the mountain, but no grass. There were many strange birds there, but no beasts. 500 miles east. There is a mountain called Chicken Mountain. There is a lot of gold on the top of the mountain and a lot of cinnabar under the mountain. Black water flows from the mountains and flows southward into the ocean. There are fish in the water, like catfish, but with bristles like pigs and making sounds like dolphins, once seen. It will lead to severe drought. 400 miles east, there is a mountain called Lingqiu. There is no vegetation there and it is very hot. To the south there is a valley called Zhonggu, from which the wind blows. There was a bird there, like a wisp of smoke, with a human face, 4 eyes, and ears. Its name is Ever, and its cry announces itself. When it is seen, it means there will be a severe drought on the land. 370 miles east, there is a mountain called Luan. There is a lot of gold and jade on the top of the mountain, and a lot of blue clay at the bottom of the mountain. There were trees there, shaped like grains but with red veins. Their sap was like lacquer and tasted like syrup. People who eat it will not feel hungry and can relieve fatigue. It is called white radish and can produce blood jade. 580 miles east. There is Yuga Mountain, home to many strange beasts and giant snakes. 580 miles east, there is a mountain called Nanyu. It is rich in gold and jade and has abundant water below. There is a hole there, and water flows out and in. It flows out in summer. Closed in winter. The water flows out from there and flows southeast into the sea, where there are phoenixes and swans. The first of the 3 southern mountain ranges, it consists of 14 mountains from Tianyu Mountain to Nanyu Mountain and spans 6,530 miles. Their gods all have dragon bodies and human faces. Their temples all sacrifice white dogs and use rice and millet. The southern region's mountain range records total 40 mountains covering a distance of 16,380 miles. Shanjing, Shishan. The highest peak of Shishan Mountain is Huashan Mountain, which is called the Mountain of Thousands of Mountains. There are many pine trees on the top of the mountain and many washed stones at the foot of the mountain. There is a beast there, which looks like a sheep but has a horse's tail, called 1,000 sheep, and its fat can be used to make wax. 45 miles west. There is a mountain called Songhua Mountain. The river of fire flows out from there and flows northward into the Wei River, where there is a lot of copper. There is a bird there called the Suzaku, which looks like a pheasant with a black body and red feet and can be caught. Moonlight. 60 miles to the west is Taiwa Mountain, shaped like a square. It is 5,000 fathoms high and 10 miles wide, and no bird or beast dwells there. There is a kind of snake called Fei, Zhangzan, with 6 legs and 4 wings, once it appears. It will bring severe drought to the world. 80 miles to the west there is a mountain called Shaohua, where there are many date trees and many bison. In the shade, there are many stone bells, and in the sunshine there are a large number of jade stones with the color of the sky. There are also many fire-tolerant redbirds. There is a plant called billy among the grass, which looks like black garlic and grows on rocks. The edges of the wood are red, eating it will cause heartache. 80 miles to the west is Mount Fuyu, with its sunny side rich in copper. The negative side is rich in iron. There is a tree called Wenjing on the mountain. Its fruit is similar to dates and can cure deafness. Lush vegetation, resembling sunflowers, with red flowers and yellow fruits that look like baby tongues. Eating them prevents chaos. The water from Fuyu Mountain gushes out from there and flows northward into the Wei River. The animals are mostly green and deaf, like sheep but with red manes. Birds are mostly called jade, like jade, with red beaks that can withstand fire. 60 miles to the west there is a mountain called Shirtsue, where there are many palm trees and leek-like grass with white flowers and black seeds, which can cause skin diseases when eaten. There are many jade stones on the sunny side. And the cool side has a lot of copper. Water gushes out of the mountains and flows northward into the Yushui River. There is a stream of red clay that can be used to smear cattle and horses against disease. 70 miles to the west, there is a place called Eagle Mountain, with many sandalwood trees on the slopes. Iron ore is abundant in the shade, and there is plenty of red gold in the sun. The Yu River originates here and flows northward into the Zhao River, where there are many eels, which look like turtles and make sounds like sheep. In the sunlight, there are many arrowheads and animals include bison and sheep. There is a kind of bird. Like quail, the body is yellow and the beak is red, called flying wings. Eating it can cure diseases and kill insects. 52 miles west there is a place called Jushan, where there are many tall trees and rich iron ore in the shadows. There is a kind of grass called huangwan. It looks like a sycamore tree, with leaves like hemp, white flowers, and red fruits that look like ochre. It can be used to treat scabies, as well as other illnesses. The bamboo water flows out from there and flows northward into the Wei River, where there are many bamboo arrows and a large number of green jade. Danshui flows out from there and flows southeast into the Luo River, where there are many water jade and many mermaids. There is a beast there, which looks like a pig but has white fur. It is as big as a pig but has black ends. It is called Haoji. Go west another 120 miles. There is a place called Fushan, where there are many trees. The trees, which have 3-leaf leaves, are unscathed and inhabited by wood borers. There is a kind of grass called sunko, with leaves like hemp, square stems, red flowers, and black fruits. It smells like a plant called myo. Wearing it can help heal illnesses. 70 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Yaoshan, where the Qishir River originates and flows northward into the Weha River. There are many trees on the mountain and many bamboo arrows under the mountain. There is a lot of red copper in the shade, and a lot of British jade in the sun. There is a beast there, like a gibbon, good at throwing, called Shao. There is a bird there, like an owl, with a human face and one leg, called a camel. Visible in winter, hibernating in summer, not afraid of thunder when wearing it. 50 miles to the west were rocky hills with no grass or trees. The water flows out from there and flows northward into the Weha River, where there are many water jade. 70 miles to the west is Nanshan, where there is a lot of red millet. The Dan River originates here and flows northward into the Wei River. There were many ferocious leopards and many birds called corpse pigeons. 480 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Big Rock. There are many mulberry trees on the upper slope. There were many ferocious leopards and many birds called corpse pigeons. 480 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Big Rock. There are many mulberry trees on the upper slope of the mountain and many wild dates on the lower slope. There is a lot of silver on the Yin side, and a lot of white jade on the Yang side. The Tsin River originates here and flows northward into the Wei River. The Qin River also originates from here and flows southward into the Han River. 320 miles to the west is Wangzhongshan, where the Han River originates and flows southeast into the Mian River. The small river also originates here and flows north into the Tang River. There are many hook-shaped peach branches. Rhinos, bears and other wild animals are abundant in the area, as well as many white swans and ruddy ducks. There is a kind of grass here with leaves like orchids and stems like bellflowers. It has black flowers but no fruit. It is called gourd. Consumption of it can cause infertility. 350 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Tiandi Mountain with lush palm trees. There are many reeds and orchids at the foot of the mountain. There is a beast there, like a dog, called Brookside. Whoever uses its skin will not be cursed. There is a bird there, like a quail, with black markings and a red crown, called an oak. Eating it causes hemorrhoids. There is a grass there, which is like a common sunflower and smells like wild mint, and it is called eucalyptus. It can be used for riding horses. Eating it can cause thyroid enlargement. 380 miles to the southwest is the Gauda Mountain, where the Chang River originates and flows westward into the Zhuzi waters. The Tuha River flows southward into the Jihu waters. There is a lot of red millet on the Yang side, and a lot of silver and gold on the Yin side. And the laurel trees are abundant. There is a white stone there called, which can poison rats to death. There is also a kind of grass, like reeds, with leaves like red-backed sunflowers, called wujiao, which can also poison mice. There is another kind of beast. It looks like a deer but has a white tail, horse-like feet and human hands, which is called ro. There is also a bird that looks like an owl but has human feet, called shusi, and eating it can cause goiter. 180 miles further west is Huangshan, where there are no grass or trees, but there are many bamboo arrows. The water flows out from there and flows westward into the Qishui River, where there are many jade stones. There is a beast there, shaped like an ox, with dark blue eyes, and its shape is called mn. The top is sensitive, the bottom is cow. There is a bird there, like an owl, with blue feathers and a red beak. It can speak human language. It is called a parrot. 200 miles further west, there is a place called Suishan. There are many southern trees on the top of the mountain. There are many bamboo arrows at the foot of the mountain, many gold and jade on the sunny side, and many yaks, deer and musk on the dark side. There were many birds that looked like magpies, red and black, with 2 heads and 4 legs, and could withstand fire. Another 250 miles to the west is Qianshan, which is a bell in the Western Sea. There is no vegetation there and it is rich in jade. A cold river flows from there and flows westward into the sea, in which there are many stones, gold and red millet. The first of the Western Mountains. From Qianlai Mountain to Qianshan Mountain, it consists of 19 mountains and spans 2,957 miles. The tomb of Huashan is there, and worshipping its shrine is a grand offering. The gods of Yangshan need to prepare candles for the shrine. 100 days of fasting and 100 sacrifices were carried out, 100 pieces of jade were buried, 100 jars of wine were boiled, 100 pieces of jade were used, and 100 walls were built. The remaining 17 mountains are dedicated to a sheep. Candles are made from the unburned remains of 100 herbs. The white mat is pure and neat. The first part of the second Western Classic is called 1,000 Mountains. There are a lot of copper on the top, a lot of jade on the bottom, and many mulberry trees. 200 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Taimao. There are many jade stones on the sunny side. There is a lot of iron ore on the dark side. The bath water there flows out and flows eastward into the river. There are many algae, jade, and many white snakes in the river. 70 miles to the west there is a mountain called Shuli Mountain. There is a lot of gold on the surface of the mountain and a lot of silver underground. There are also various trees and many parrots. The Chu River originates here and flows southward into the Wei River, where there are many white pearls. And 150 miles high in the mountains, with lots of silver at the top and rich green and yellow arsenic below. The trees are mainly palms. The grass is mainly bamboo. The Jing River originates here and flows eastward into the Wei River, where there are many fragrant stones and greenery. 300 miles to the southwest, there is a mountain called Women's Bed. There is a lot of red copper on the sunlit side. And the dark side has a lot of rocks and dirt. It is home to many wild animals including tigers, leopards, and rhinos. There is a bird there, like a pheasant, whose body is decorated with colorful patterns, called the Wan bird. Its appearance brings peace to the world. 200 miles to the west there is a mountain called Longsho. The sunlit side has a lot of gold, and the dark side has a lot of iron. The river originates there and flows into the East China Sea through the Jinghe River. There are many beautiful jade stones there. 200 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Lutai. The top of the mountain is rich in white jade, and there are silver mines at the foot of the mountain. There are many bison, sheep, and white deer in the mountain. There is a bird there that looks like a rooster but has a human face, called a duck. Its cry is a self-announcement, and its sighting means that soldiers are nearby. 2 miles to the southwest there is a mountain called Bird's Tail. There are many fragrant stones on the sunny side, many sandalwood trees on the shady side, and many women's beds. The water at Bird's Tail flows out from there and flows westward into the red water, where there is a lot of red millet. 400 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Xiaozi. There are many white jade on the top of the mountain and many red copper at the bottom of the mountain. There is a beast there that looks like a monkey. It has a white head and red feet and is called Zhu Yan. Seeing it will bring an army. 300 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Desaiji. It has a lot of chalk on the sunny side, while the shaded side is tree-lined. This is home to many bison and sheep. 400 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Xuanwu, which has no vegetation but is rich in gold and jade. 400 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Shiyang, where there are many crops, such as millet, sorghum, and rice, and many animals, such as rhinos. Bison, tiger, deer, and gaur. 250 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Mountain of the Beasts. The mountains are rich in emeralds, there are many sandalwood trees under the mountains, and there is a lot of gold. The wild animals in the mountains include many rhinos and bison. 500 miles to the west is a mountain called Emperor Mountain. There is a lot of gold and jade on the top of the mountain, and there are rich blue and yellow minerals at the bottom of the mountain. The Emperor's water flows out from there and flows westward into the Red River, where there are many cinnabar particles. 300 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Zhonghuang. There is a lot of gold on the top of the mountain, and there are many orchids and hawthorns under the mountain. 350 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Shihuang Mountain. It has a lot of gold on its yang side and a lot of iron on its yin side. It is also home to many elk, deer, and bison. 350 miles to the west, there is Mount Lai, where there are many sandalwood trees and many birds called luo-luo, which are edible. The first of two classics. From Qianshan to Laishan, it spans a total of 17 mountain ranges and 4,140 miles. The 10 gods had human faces and horse bodies. The 7 gods have human faces and ox bodies, 4 legs and 1 hand, and walk with a staff. They are the gods of birds. In their temples the offerings were prepared with a small sacrificial animal, and white reeds served as seats. To the gods of the 10 generations, offerings included a rooster, plucked but not cooked. The feathers were collected. The first part of the Western Classic is called Shongwu Mountain, located on the south side of the river. The north side overlooks the cemetery, the south side looks toward the swamp, the west side faces the hunting hills, the east side overlooks the abyss. There are trees there with round leaves and white skin, red flowers with black veins, and fruits similar to 3-leaf oranges. Suitable for future generations to eat. There is a beast there, like a monkey, with patterned arms and as flexible as a leopard or tiger, called jifu. There is a bird there, like a duck, with only 1 wing and 1 eye. When they come together, they can fly, called man-man. When you see it, it means there will be flooding in the land. 300 miles to the northwest, there are the mountains of Changsha. The Qi River flows out from there and flows northward into the Diao River. There is no vegetation around it, and it is mainly blue and yellow. 370 miles to the northwest is a mountain called Buzhou. Looking to the north, you can see Zhoushan, facing the towering forest mountains. To the east is Puzha, where the river flows underground, bubbling and churning at its source. There are delicious fruits here, like peaches. The leaves resemble jujubes, yellow flowers and red stems, and are easy to eat. 420 miles northwest, there is a mountain called Yanshan. There are many red trees on the mountain with round leaves and red stems, yellow flowers and red fruits. It tastes like syrup. Eating it will not make you feel hungry. The Dan River originates here and flows westward into Jiza, where there is a lot of white jade. There is jade pulp, which is boiling fiercely. The Yellow Emperor once had a feast here. This produced black jade. Jade pulp is used to irrigate mangroves, when the mangroves reach 5 years old. Their 5 colors become clear and their 5 flavors become fragrant. Huangdi then took out the jade from Yanshan and cast it on the sunny side of Zhongshan. The jade of gold and jade is of excellent quality, strong and fine-textured, with a turbid but shining surface. 5 colors appear. Softness and hardness coexist harmoniously. Heaven, earth, ghosts and gods share its feast. A gentleman wears it as a good omen. From Yanshan to Zhongshan, it is 460 miles, with many swamps in between. There are many strange birds, strange beasts, and unusual fish. All are extraordinary creatures. 420 miles northwest, there is a mountain called Zhongshan. Its descendant is called Gu, with a human face and a dragon body. This creature, together with Qinling, killed Bao Jiang under the Kunlun sun. The emperor then executed it east of Zhongshan and named it Yaya. Qinling transformed into a large eagle, shaped like an eagle with black patterns and a white head, red beak and tiger claws. Its cry was like a mourning crane, and it brought an army with it when it appeared. Gu also transformed into a bird called Yen, which looks like an owl, with red feet and a straight beak, yellow patterns, and a white head. Its cry is like a crane, and when it appears, it brings severe drought to the area. 80 miles to the west is Taiji Mountain. Water flows out from there. To the west it flows into quicksand. There are many patterned lights there, like carps, fish bodies and bird wings, blue patterns, white heads, and red beaks. They often travel in the West Sea, swim in the East Sea, and fly at night. Their sound is like a phoenix and their taste is sweet and sour. Eating them drives one crazy, and seeing them brings abundance to the world. 320 miles to the west is the Huaihe Mountains. The Qiushi water flows out from there and flows northward into the drifting river. There are many treasures on the mountain, including gold, green and yellow minerals, as well as rich lengia, gold and jade. Many red particles sparkle in the sun. Its depths are rich in gold and silver. This is really the garden of the emperor, a place where gods gather. Its shape is like a horse's body and a human face, with tiger stripes and bird wings. It swims around the sea, and its sound is like a pomegranate. Looking to the south, Kunlun Mountain is radiant and ethereal. Looking to the west, we can see the land of days, where Hoji once hid, with many jade stones and tall trees in the shade. Looking to the north, on each peak, the Huai god perches and eagles and falcons perch. Looking eastward, we can see the 4 peaks of Hengshan Mountain. The spirits of poverty dwell here, and each has its own domain. The river flows, clear and bright. There were celestial beings there, like cows, with 8 legs and 2 heads, like horse tails, and their voices were like roaring echoes, once seen. Their cities will have soldiers. 400 miles to the southwest is a place called Kunlun Mountain, which was the emperor's capital. The god there has a tiger's body and 9 tails, a human face, and tiger's paws. This god was in charge of the 9 heavens and the emperor's territory. There is a 4-horned sheep-like beast there called a locust, which eats people. There are also bee-like birds, as big as mandarin ducks, called harps. They will kill birds and beasts if they touch wood. The wood will wither. There is a bird called a quail, which serves the emperor's officials. There is a tree like a hawthorn, with yellow flowers and red fruits that taste like plums but have no seeds. They are called sand hawthorns. They can repel water and eating them can prevent drowning. There is a kind of grass called western grass, which looks like a sunflower and tastes like an onion. Eating it can relieve fatigue. The Yellow River flows southward into Wuda. The Red River flows southeastward into the waters of Pantheon. The Haiha River flows southwest into the waters of Chutu. The Mo River flows into the four seas, and flows to the Great Pole. There are many strange birds and beasts. 370 miles further west is a mountain called Ryu. The Tao River originates there and flows westward into Giza. White jade is abundant here, and there are many fish called herring, which look like snakes but have 4 legs and eat fish. The west water flows for 400 miles and is called quicksand. After 200 miles it reaches Ingmu Mountain, where the divine dragon drives a chariot. This is one of the 9 virtues in heaven. Its divine form is like a man and its tail is like a leopard. There are many jade stones on the top and many blue stones on the bottom. But there is no water. 350 miles to the northwest is Yushan, where the Queen Mother of the West lives. The Queen Mother of the West looks like a human, has the tail of a leopard and the teeth of a tiger, and is good at howling. Her hair is messy and there are accessories on her head. He is the ruler of natural disasters and the 5 cripples. There is a kind of beast, which looks like a dog but has leopard patterns and horns like an ox, called Jiaoyo. Its sound is like the barking of a dog, and when it is seen, the land brings fertility. There is also a bird that looks like a pheasant but is red all over. It's called Xingyu. It feeds on fish and makes a sound like a recording. When it is seen, the land will bring a great flood. 480 miles to the west, there is a place called Xianyuan Mountain, where there are no grass or trees. The Sun River originates here and flows southward into Blackwater. There is a lot of red millet and blue ore there. 300 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Jishur, with a stone gate at the foot of the mountain. The river flows westward from above. This mountain has everything. 200 miles to the west is Yongzhou Mountain, where the White Emperor Xiaohao lived. All mammals have patterned tails, and all birds have patterned heads. There are many patterns of jade here. It is indeed the palace of the circle god Kashi. This god governs the return of shadows. 280 miles west. There is a mountain called Zhangyi. There is no vegetation on the mountain, only jade-like stones. Very peculiar. There is a beast there, like a red leopard, with 5 tails and 1 horn, and a sound like knocking stones. It is called Zheng. There is also a bird, like a crane, with only 1 leg. It has a blue body with red markings and a white beak, and is called Bifang. Its cry is a self-announcement, and when it is seen, it means that there will be a fire in the village. 300 miles to the west, there is Yinshan Mountain. The turbid water flows out from there and flows southward into Fanza. There are many patterned shells there. There is a beast there, like a raccoon but with a white head, called the Tengu. Its sound is like a pomegranate, which can ward off evil spirits. 200 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Fodi. There are many palm trees on the top of the mountain. There are rich gold and jade under the mountain. Legend has it that the divine river flows from there. The mountain often experiences strange rainfalls and is the source of wind and clouds. 220 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Sanyu, where 3 bluebirds live. The mountain is 100 miles wide. There is a beast like a cow on the mountain, with a white body and 4 horns. It looks like a cloak. Its name is, and it is a kind of food. A bird with a head and 3 bodies shaped like. The name is owl. 90 miles west there is a place called Qianshan, which is rich in jade but not stone. The divine young man dwells there, and his voice is often like the tolling of bells and wind chimes. Below, there are many accumulated snakes. 350 miles to the west are the Tian Shan Mountains, rich in gold and jade in shades of blue, yellow, and red. The Ying River originates here and flows southwest into Tang Valley. There is a god there, shaped like a yellow bag and red like cinnabar. It has 6 legs and 4 wings and no eyes, but it can recognize singing and dancing. It is indeed Emperor Jiang. 290 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Yushan, where the sacred tree lives. The top of the mountain is rich in short jade, the sunny side is rich in high-quality jade, and the yin side is rich in minerals. Blue-yellow mineral plentiful. The mountain is viewed from the west, facing the setting sun, and the atmosphere is dominated by sacred red light. On the West River, after walking 100 miles, you will reach the grass-free Yuan Mountain, which is rich in gold and jade. There is a beast in the mountains, which looks like a civet. The 3 tails are named Huan, and their voices are like 100 sounds. They can drive away evil spirits and are good for the skin. There is also a bird in the mountains, which looks like a crow, with 3 heads and 6 tails. It is called Zhihuan, which can make people not tired and can also ward off evil spirits. The first of the 3 Western classics, from Chongwu Mountain to Yiwang Mountain. It covers 23 mountains and has a total length of 6,744 miles. Their divine forms all have sheep bodies and human faces. During the sacrifice, an auspicious jade stone is buried on the shrine and millet is used as an offering. The first of the 4 great Western classics is called Yinshan, where there are many mulberry trees, no stones, and abundant grass and reeds. The Yin water flows out from there and flows westward into the Luo River. 50 miles to the north, there are old mountains and abundant comfrey. Weak water flows out from there. It flows into Luo Shui to the west. 50 miles to the west is the Buff Mountain, where the 2 rivers originate and flow westward into the Luo River, surrounded by many reeds and green water. 70 miles to the north is the Holy Mountain. There are many mulberry trees and oak trees on the slopes, and there are many wild fruits at the foot of the mountain. The sunny side is rich in gold and jade. The meandering river originates from here and flows into the Yellow River. 200 miles to the north, there is a place called Bird Mountain. There are many mulberry trees on the mountain, many white mulberry trees under the shade, and a lot of iron in the shadow. There are many jade in the sun. The Ru River flows out from there and flows into the river eastward. 120 miles further north is the Upper Sacred Mountain, which is devoid of grass and trees but has many rocky outcrops. There are many hazelnut bushes down there, as well as many white deer. Most of the birds there look like pheasants, with flying beards and eat without blinking. The water gushes out there and flows eastward into the river. 80 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Jutsi, and the water flowing from this mountain flows eastward into the river. There are many trees on this mountain, but no grass and no birds or animals. It is home to many snakes. 80 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Hao. There are many sumac and palm trees on the mountain, and the meadows are rich in herbs and angelica. There are many cold rocks here, from which springs gush out and flow eastward into the river. 220 miles to the north are Mount Yu. It has a lot of iron on its negative side and a lot of copper on its positive side. There are many white wolves and white tigers living here. There are also many white pheasants and white ducks. A clear spring gushes out here and flows eastward into the river. 250 miles to the west there is a mountain called Bayou. There are many pine and cypress trees on the slopes, and many oak and sandalwood trees at the foot of the mountain. The animals there include many bison and sheep, and the birds are mainly owls. The Luo River originates from its sunny side and flows eastward into the Wei River. The Jia River originates from its Yin side and flows eastward into the Xinghe River. 300 miles to the northwest, there is a mountain called Shinxiu. There is no vegetation on the mountain, and there is often snow in winter and summer. The Divine River originates from here. There are many white jade buried under the mountain. 55 miles further west is Jinggu Mountain. The Jing River originates here and flows southeast into the Wei River, where there is a lot of white gold and white jade. 120 miles further west is Gangshan, where trees are lush and jade is abundant. The Gang River flows out from there and flows northward into the Wei River. It was very magical, having the face of a man and the body of an animal, 1 foot and 1 hand, and a voice like the sound of a bell. 200 miles west to the end of the hills. The Luo River emerges here and flows northward into the Yellow River. There are many creatures called man here. Their bodies are like mice, their heads are like turtles, and their sounds are like barking dogs. 350 miles to the west is Yingdi Mountain. There are many sumac trees on the mountain. There is an abundance of gold and jade under the mountain. All the birds and beasts are white. Tan River flows out from there and enters Lingyang Swamp to the north. There were many fish called ran, with fish bodies, snake heads, and 6 legs. Their eyes are like alert ears. Eating them prevents drowsiness and wards off evil spirits. 300 miles to the west, there is a mountain called Zhongqiu. There are many jade stones on the Yang side, and rich realgar, white jade and gold on the Yin side. There is a beast there. Like a horse, it has a white body, a black tail, 1 horn, like tiger's teeth and claws, and makes a sound like a drum. It is called Bo, feeds on tigers and leopards, and can resist soldiers. There is a tree there, like a hawthorn, with round leaves and red fruits. The fruit is as big as a papaya and is called northern wood. Eating it can provide great strength. 260 miles to the west is Guishan. There is a beast like a cow on the mountain with rough hair called Xiongqi. It makes a sound like a dog and feeds on humans. The Meng River originates here and flows southward into the Yang River, where there are many yellow shells. Ingyu, with a body like a fish and wings like a bird, makes a sound like a mandarin duck. When it is seen, it will cause a big flood in the city. 220 miles west there is a city called. The birds and rats sharing cave mountain. Mountain is rich in white tigers and white jade. The Wei River originates here and flows eastward into the Yellow River. There are many fish called tiao there, like catfish. When they move, an army will appear in the city. The Lan River flows out from the west and flows into the Han River in the west. It is rich in a kind of fish called zhao, which is shaped like a spoon, with a bird-like head and shark fins, and makes a sound like a stone bell. They can produce pearls and jade. 360 miles to the southwest is Yanji Mountain, where redwoods abound. Its leaves are similar to those of a mulberry tree, and its fruit is as large as a watermelon, with red skin and black veins. Eating them may cause illness, but they also repel fire. There are many turtles on the sunny side. And there are many jade stones on the cool side. A river originates here and flows westward into the sea, where there are many millstones. There is a beast there, which looks like a horse, with bird wings and a snake tail. It is called Shuhu and is a good omen for scholars. There is also a bird that looks like an owl. It has a human face, a snake body and a dog tail, and calls itself by its name. Once it appears, it will bring severe drought to the city. There are 19 mountains in the area from Yinshan Mountain to Yanzi Mountain, spanning 3,680 miles. During the rituals at the shrine, white chickens are used as sacrifices, rice is used as sacrificial food, and white reeds are used as mats. To the west of the right longitude there are 77 mountains in all, spanning 15,517 miles. Classic of Mountains and Seas, Northern Mountain Classic. The first mountain in Beishan is called Danhu Mountain. There are many machines and trees on the mountain, and there are abundant flowers and plants in bloom. The Wind River flows from there and flows westward into the Pau River, where there are many tar stones and patterned stones. 250 miles north. There is a mountain called Kyoruzi, which is rich in jade but has no vegetation. Sliding water flows out of the mountain and flows westward into Zhushui. There are many slippery fish in the water, like eels, with red backs and sounds like crows. Eating them can cause warts. There are also many water horses, like horses. The arms are patterned, the tail is like a cow, and the voice is like a calling. 300 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Daishan. There are many jade stones on the top of the mountain and many green things at the bottom of the mountain. There is a beast there, like a horse, with twisted horns, called a shoe, which can drive away fire. There is a bird there, like a crow, colorful with red patterns, called the owl. It can reproduce itself into male and female, and you will not get sores if you eat it. The Peng River flows out from there and flows westward into the waters of Pai Lake. There are many fish there, they are like chickens. It has red feathers, 3 tails, 6 legs, 4 heads, and a voice like a magpie. Eating it can relieve worries. 400 miles north, there is a mountain called Xiaoming. The Qiao River originates here and flows into the river westward. A kind of fish called hero is abundant here, and this is the first one. The body is 10, and the sound is like a barking dog. Eating them will cause sores. There is a beast there, like a weasel but with red fur and a voice like a purr. It is called Menghuai and can ward off evil spirits. The mountain has no vegetation and is mainly composed of blue, yellow, and red colors. 350 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Zhuguang. The Shaoshui River originates here and flows into the river westward. There are many fish called xianxian here, which look like magpies, but have 10 wings and scales on the tips of their feathers. They sound like magpies. Can withstand fire, you won't get sick if you eat them. There are many pine and cypress trees on the mountain, and many palm trees under the mountain. Animals include deer and sheep, and bird life is also abundant. 380 miles to the north is Guishan. There are many lacquer trees on the slopes and many tung trees at the foot of the mountain. There is a lot of jade on the sunny side, and a lot of iron ore on the yin side. The Yi River originates here and flows westward into the Yellow River. There are many camels here, and many birds that are like mice but have wings. Their voices are like sheep, and they can be used to drive away soldiers. 400 miles north. At the end of Guishan, there are many jade but no stones. Fish and water flow from there and flow westward into the river, where there are many patterned shells. 200 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Danshuan. There are many sycamores and cypress trees on the mountain. The grass is covered with leeks and many red fires. The Sun River flows out from there and enters the Tang River to the west. There was a beast there, like a mouse, but with a head like a rabbit, a body like a deer, and a voice like a dog. It flies with its tail and is called an eared rat. There is no harm in eating it. It can also drive away hundreds of poisons. 280 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Shirsha. There is no vegetation on the mountain, only jade-like stones. A stream flows from the mountain and flows west into the river. There is a beast there, like a leopard. But the body is white with patterns, and it is called Mengji. It is good at hiding, and its cry is its name. 110 miles further north is a mountain called Bianchuan, which is rich in onions, sunflowers, leeks, peaches, and plums. The Gang River originates from here. It flows westward into Pew Swamp. There is a beast there, like a monkey, with stripes on its body, famous for its laughter. When it sees people, it will lie down, called Yuyen, and its cry is its name. 200 miles north there is a mountain called Monlian. There are no grass or trees on the mountain, but there are some monkey-like beasts with long manes, like cows' tails, patterned arms, and feet like horse hooves. When they see people, they call out and are called Zuzi. Their calls are self-identifying. There are also groups of birds that live together, fly together, and have feathers like female pheasants. They are called pheasants. Their calls are also self-identifying, and eating them can cause wind. 800 miles north. There is a mountain called Shanchang, where there is no vegetation. There is a beast there, like a leopard, with a long tail, a human head, ox ears, and only one eye, called Zhu Jian. It is good at screaming and dragging its tail when walking. There is a bird there, like a pheasant, with a patterned head and white wings. The yellow feet are called white fields. Eating it will give you a sore throat, but it can cure leprosy. Luoshui River originates here and flows southward into Gangshui River. 320 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Guandi Mountain. There are many ash trees and mulberry trees on the slopes. There is a lot of quicksand down there, and a lot of grindstones. There was a beast there, like an ox, but with a white tail, and a voice like a call. It was called Enough. There is also a bird that looks like a female pheasant but has a human face. It jumps when it sees a human. Known as pine silk, its call is self-referential. The water of Jianghan flows out from there and goes westward into Piaoshu, where there are many magnets. 200 miles to the north is Panho Mountain, with many pine and cypress trees on its top. There are many hazel and beech trees at the foot of the mountain, with abundant jade on the sunny side and iron ore on the shady side. There was a beast there, shaped like an ox, with 4 parts covered with hair. Some said it was a hairy ox. A river flows from there. It flows southward into an oak swamp. 230 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Shaoxian. There is no vegetation on the mountain and it is covered with snow in winter and summer. 280 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Daxian. There is no vegetation on the mountain. There is an abundance of jade at the foot of the mountain. The mountain is surrounded on all sides and cannot be climbed. There was a snake there called the Hydra, with hair like a pig and a sound like a drum. 320 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Dunhong, with palm trees luxuriantly growing on its slopes. Purple grass is abundant at the foot of the mountain. The water of Dunhong flows out from there and flows westward into Yuz. It gushes out from the northeast corner of Kunlun and is indeed a river plain. There are many sockeye salmon, the mammals include many rhinos and cattle, and the birds are mostly cuckoos. 200 miles north there is a mountain called Shaoxian. There is no grass or trees there, it is mainly blue and green. There is a beast there, like an ox, but with a red body, a human face and horse legs, called kueyu. It sounds like a baby and eats people. Dunshui originates from there. It flows eastward into the waters of Yenmen, where there are many fish called zhizhi. Eating them can be fatal. 200 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Judiciary Mountain. The water of Langs flows out from here and flows northeast into Taizhou. There are many fish there. Like carp but with chicken feet, eating them will give you warts. There is also a beast that looks like a dog but has a human face, and is good at throwing. When it sees people, it will laugh. Its name is Dog Army, and its movements are like the wind when it is seen. The world will experience a great storm. 2 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Beishan, full of thorns and hard wood. There was a beast there, like a cow, but with 4 horns, a face like a man, and ears like a pig. Its name is Zhu Hua, and its cry is like a squawking goose. It feeds on humans. The water of Zhuhua flows out from there and enters the Shaoshui River to the west, where fish are abundant. These fish have a body like a fish, but a head like a dog and a voice like a baby. Eating them can drive people crazy. 80 miles north there is a mountain called Hunyue. There is no vegetation on the mountain, but it is rich in copper and jade. The Shaoshui River originates here and flows westward into the sea. There is a snake with a head and 2 bodies called Fei. Seeing it will bring severe drought to the country. 50 miles north, there is a mountain called Beishan. There are no grass and trees there, but there are many onions and leeks. 100 miles further north there is a mountain called Pichards, where there is no grass or trees, but there are many horses. 80 miles to the north is the North Ferry Mountain, where many horses live and a clear spring flows northwest into the Tuo River. 70 miles north, there is a place called Dushan, where there are many horses. There is a beast there, like a leopard but with patterns on its head. It's called a bird. The water from Dishi flows eastward into Taizhou, where there are many dragon turtles. The starting point of the Beishan Classic stretches from Danhu Mountain to Dishi Mountain, covering 25 mountains and 5,490 miles. The gods there have human faces and snake bodies. In their shrine, a rooster and a pig were buried with jade tablets to ensure they did not decay. People in Beishan eat raw food without cooking. The northernmost of the 2 rivers, located on the east side of the river, has its source in Fun and is called Guansan Mountain. There are no trees here, but the grass is luxuriant and there is abundant jade in the ground. The river Fen originates here and flows westward into the river. 250 miles west. There is a mountain called Shaoyang. There are many jade stones on the top of the mountain and rich red silver at the foot of the mountain. Acid water gushes out there and flows eastward into the Fen River. There are many beautiful ochres in the river. 50 miles north, there is a mountain called Yongshan. There are many jade stones on the top of it. There is a lot of copper at the foot of the mountain, and there are many wild beasts like deer in the mountain, and there are also many white birds. There are birds. The Jin River originates here and flows southeast into the Fen River. There are abundant catfish here, which look like carp but have red scales and sound like shouting. Eating them does not make one arrogant. 200 miles to the north is the Hooch Mountains, which are devoid of grass and trees and are mostly blue and green. High-quality water gushes from the mountains and flows northeast into the Fen River, where there is a lot of jade. 350 miles north there is a place called White Sand Mountain, which spans 300 miles and is completely covered with sand, without grass, trees, birds, or beasts. Tuna water flows from above and sinks below, and there is a lot of white jade. 400 miles north. There is a mountain called 20, where there is no vegetation and no water. 380 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Kwangshan, where there are no grass or trees. It is a mountain with snow in winter and summer. Kwangshui flows out of the mountains and flows westward into Fushui. There are many beautiful jade stones there. 380 miles to the north are the Zhuyu Mountains, rich in copper and jade on the surface and pine and cypress below. Zhuyu's water originates from here and flows eastward into Mao River. 350 miles north. There is a mountain called Duntu, which is rich in gold and jade but has no vegetation. The Mao River originates here and flows eastward into Inza. There were many mabwa horses there, with cow-like tails and white bodies, with one horn and a voice that sounded like they were calling. 350 miles north, there is a mountain called Gowu. There are many jade stones on the top of the mountain and many copper mines at the foot of the mountain. There is a beast there, which looks like a sheep but has a human face, eyes under the armpits, teeth like tigers, and claws like humans. It sounds like a baby, is called Pao Shao, and feeds on humans. 300 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Beijian. The sunny side has no stones and is rich in jade. There was a beast there, like a tiger, with a white body, a dog's head, and a horse's tail. Pig's bristles, called Du. There is a bird there, like a crow, with a human face. What is it? It flies at night, hides during the day, and is already hot after eating it. The Tsin River flows out from there and flows eastward into Cheongsa. 350 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Liangxiu. There is no vegetation there, but it is rich in gold and jade. Xiuha originates from here and flows eastward into Yanmen. The area is inhabited by many wild beasts, a hybrid of red-haired creatures whose sounds sound like pigs. There is also a bird that looks like Kwafu and has 4 wings. One eye and a dog-like tail, called Shao. It sounds like a magpie and eating it can cause stomach pain but can stop diarrhea. 400 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Guguan. There is no grass or trees on the mountain. This mountain has snow in summer. 380 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Huguan. The sunny side is rich in jade and the shady side is rich in jade. There are many horses there, and the water from Huguan flows eastward into the sea. There are many fish in the sea. There is a wood factory there with leaves like willow trees. But there are red veins. After passing 500 miles of waterways and 300 miles of desert, we arrived at Huanshan, which is rich in gold and jade. There grew 3 mulberry trees, all without branches, reaching a height of 100 fathoms. There are also fruit trees. Many exotic snake species inhabit the area below. 300 miles to the north, there is a mountain called Dundee Branch. There is no vegetation there and it is rich in gold and jade. It is located near the North Sea. The first of 2 northern classics. From Guanlei Mountain to Dun-Ti Mountain, there are 17 mountains spanning 5,690 miles. Their gods all have snake bodies and human faces. Their shrines include a rooster and a pig. Thrown in but not discarded are a jade plate and a tablet. The first of the 3 classics in the north is called Taihang Mountain. Its peak is called Turtle Mountain, with gold and jade on top and blue below. There is a beast, like a goat, with 4 horns, a horsetail and thorns. Its name is Ma Jun, and it is good at returning. The name is self-proclaimed. There is a kind of bird, like a magpie, with a white body, a red tail, and 6 legs. Its name is Hu. It is good at frightening, and its cry is self-proclaimed. 200 miles northeast there is a mountain called Longho Mountain. There is no vegetation there, but rich in gold and jade. Clear water flows from the mountains and flows eastward into the river. There are many mermaids there, like catfish, with 4 legs and sounds like babies, and eating them will not lead to madness. 200 miles northeast. There is a mountain called Makang. There are many patterned stones on the top of the mountain, and there are rich gold and jade in the shadows. There is a beast there, like a white dog with a black head. It flies when it sees people and is called Pegasus. Its cry is self-declared. There is also a bird, like a crow, with a white head, blue body and yellow feet, called Shuji. Its name is self-proclaimed. You will not feel hungry if you eat it, and you can live there. 70 miles to the northeast is Fairy Mountain, with jade on the top. There is abundant copper under the mountain. There are many pine and cypress trees there, and the grass is covered with wild herbs. Tiaojin water flows out from there and flows southwest into Nagasawa. There are many acidic vessels out there that ripen every 3 years, and eating them can cause illness. 200 miles northeast, there is a mountain called Tianqi. There is no vegetation there and is full of patterned stones. There was a beast there, like a rabbit but with a head like a mouse and wings on its back. It was called the flying squirrel. The Mianshui River flows out from there and flows underneath it. There is a lot of yellow gypsum in it. 300 miles east, there is a place called Yangshan. The top of the mountain is rich in jade, and the foot of the mountain is rich in gold and copper. There is a beast there, shaped like an ox but with a tail and a neck like a deer. It is called a spirit fox, and it calls itself by its cry. There is a lot of yellow gypsum in it. 300 miles east, there is a place called Yangshan. The top of the mountain is rich in jade, and the foot of the mountain is rich in gold and copper. There is a beast there, shaped like an ox but with a tail